And good evening. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, here from the Hack. And we have been on hiatus for about 3 weeks because a lot has been going on here at Valley City High School, junior high school, elementary school, state tournament, state champions, and we've got 3 of them joining us right now as the Valley City Robotics team, both the junior high and elementary winning state with members of the middle school team joined here. John, Jack, Channing. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Pretty good, yeah.
So I guess first question, obviously you knew the score, what the score was that you had to beat. So John will ask you this. What did you think you had to do to beat that? Was it 79, I think was the score you had to beat?
It was actually not 79. It was it was 87 or 80.
Was it 80?
I think it was 83.
Okay.
It was 83. So we were paired up with a really good team, and we knew that we usually try to get that high, but we don't usually, get above that high.
Right.
So we knew we had to come up with a different strategy with that team, and it worked.
So what was the different strategy? Who wants to take that one? What was the different strategy? Jack, you want to try that one?
I actually wasn't there for the strategy. These two were.
These were the strategy guys?
Yeah, well, I was mainly the strategy guy, but for
Okay.
this specific finals, they
Okay.
made the strategy.
So what was the strategy then?
The other team, who had a really big robot, got the purple and green clusters all around the field, and we got the ones in a line.
Okay. Okay. Well, Channing, tell us a little about the robot and how you came up with the design.
So the design I came up with is I basically watched a couple videos and came up with this design that picked up blocks very efficiently and very fast.
So this was your own design. You didn't have, this was one that you guys kind of thought of. You didn't have anybody really helping you out. You found a video and just kind of went with that, right?
Yep.
What did it do differently than your previous design? What was this made it a little bit better?
So
Did it pick up things better or?
yeah, it picked up
It picked up things, okay.
We
It
had
picked up
green
those?
blocks
Okay.
a lot faster.
A lot faster.
A lot faster.
Okay.
We added a cage to it,
Okay.
and before it didn't have a cage, so it could only pick up like 4 blocks. Now it can pick up like as many as it wants until it overflows.
Sure.
Which is really nice when you're going, because you could just keep on grabbing them on the go instead of grabbing a couple, then going back, then grabbing more.
Right.
Now we have a cage there, and also underneath here we had a little stick on the front that
Right.
would keep it from falling over, and it would keep on like tinking off to random objects on the field. Like let's say there was like a stud that held up a giant red block.
Yeah.
It would hit the little stand thing, and then a robot would fall over and not do anything. So we made that like 10 times more stronger.
Okay.
So then if it wouldn't ting it and then just fall over and then the whole robot stops working, it can actually withstand it now.
One of the funny times I remember from that was it tipped over once, and I had to drive it sideways for a little bit in a match.
Don't get used to doing
That was hard.
So was it like on this side? Was
Yep.
it even on
Yeah,
any
it
wheels
was-
at all? Or is it just kind of
It
dragging?
was barely. It was going like this the whole time.
Okay. Kind of just kind of
Yeah.
kitty wampus and not doing anything. How hard was that to control that?
I didn't get partially parked. Let's just say this.
Well, now you talked about you work with autonomous.
Yes.
And that's and now autonomous. That's where they program the robot. There's no driver control. They program the robot themselves. How was that programming it for the autonomous?
Really, for me, it was really, really challenging because, you change one thing and you think it works, and then it doesn't. So then you change it again, and then it doesn't change. And then you change it back to something better, and then it changes crazily.
Something else.
Crazily.
Yeah.
That was trial and error, repeat many, many times.
A lot of trial and error. It was not working. We have to fix it. We got to try to figure this out. Jack, we were talking about awards that you guys picked up. What awards did you guys get?
We got I think it's called the Teammates Award, right?
Teamwork? Okay.
Teamwork Award, yeah. And we got the Thinking Award. And Channing, do you know the other one? Is it like second place skills? Was it?
Yeah, runner-up skills.
Yeah, runner-up skills. That was
Okay.
also one of
That
those.
was the third one?
Yeah.
Okay. Was this one of your better tournaments that you guys have had?
Yes.
Yes,
It was?
definitely.
So you saved your best for last?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, most of the time in the finals when we're paired, we have like this curse. Most of the time when we're paired up in the finals, things do not go as planned,
Right.
and a robot falls apart.
One of the tournaments, our controller for some reason just stopped working, and
Right.
then we got back to the room and it turned back on and was working again, and we still don't know.
It didn't want to work under pressure.
Nope.
It had some anxiety. They didn't want to work right away.
Poor little robot. I
So,
mean,
but it
controller.
worked when it was supposed to work. Now, what team name were you guys?
The Robo-Ducks.
The Rubber Ducks or the Robo Ducks?
Robo-Ducks, yeah.
I know you're not the Rubber Ducks. The Robo Ducks. And again, this was the middle school. It was up in Grand Forks, middle school champ. Is it? How long have you been in robotics, John?
1 year, first year.
This is your first year. How about you, Jack?
Yeah, same. No, one
First
year.
year, you too, Channing?
First year.
First year. First year you guys get out there and you go and you win it for middle school. So now you know you've set the bar kind of high now. You know what you're gonna have to do next year.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
We're keeping the same name, so that can be good.
Yeah.
Like, because we're, what we've done this year.
Keeping
But
the reputation.
if we get a bad solution or can't figure it out next year,
You might want to change the name.
yeah.
You got some names on the back burner that you can change it if you have to change it. But stick with what you have. It seems to be working for you right now. Now you all done for the year now? Is it all done for you guys? You finished and now you look forward till next year?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Next year, of course, and people that don't know, I don't know Bex IQ if it's the same, but it changes every year with the game, so you don't know what you're going to do until they set the game, right?
Yeah.
Yep, sometime in May we
In
should
May?
find out.
So the upcoming May, they'll set the game for next year.
Yep.
Okay, so you got a couple of months to relax, and then you can get going. So
Yeah.
you don't even have an idea. You're not even be getting any kind of a
No,
hint.
you can't
No.
have an idea until the new game is released.
Okay,
So,
and then once that new game's out, it's back to the drawing board.
Yep.
Okay, but do they try to keep the game somewhat similar or not?
No,
No.
like,
No.
I think one of the years you had to create a robot that would fling a yellow ball all the
Okay.
way into a giant goal. I think that was one of the rules.
Really? Interesting. Well, it sounds like a football team could use something like that.
I've asked Miss Beatty if there are any hints to what next year's tournament might be. She said it's kept very, very secret.
It's hush hush.
Hush hush.
Yes, it's probably kept in a mayonnaise jar
Yeah.
somewhere in someone's closet, and sealed, and you won't know until they open it in May. All right, well, guys, again, anything else you want to add? I mean, this is great. Your first year, all three of you, your first year doing robotics, you win state, and the elementary school, they too did well. We'll talk about that with Mrs. Beatty here coming up in a little bit. But anything else you want to add, John?
Do a demonstration?
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah, you
did.
want to do a quick demonstration? I'll get everything out of the way.
I might get stuck in this crack
It's
right
going to
here.
get stuck in the... Okay, well, you'll...
Here's the goal.
You can pick up the blocks, and then you can lift it up, and then you can dump them.
Very nice.
It can also make sounds, too. If you push that button...
This
the
right here?
The rainbow one, yeah, I think it makes noises, too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Enterprise sales, could they use something like this? Well, you know where your design man is if you need it. Again, guys, congratulations on the state championship on your first year. So
Thank
now
you.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope to get 2 in a row and 3 and 4 and 5 until you graduate and you have a whole bunch of banners hanging up in the hack. How's
Yeah.
that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds
All
like
right,
fun.
thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Channing, Jack, and John from the Robo, not rubber, but Robo Ducks, the Robo Ducks Middle School Robotics team. We'll be back and we'll talk a little bit about the elementary team that also won state as Coach's Corner continues here from the Hack on the Highland Activity Network. And back here in Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and now joined by Annette Beatty, who is the advisor, coach, mom, pseudo-mom with robotics for Valley City Robotics. Emma Tufte had been helping you out this year as well. But
Yes.
I guess first, before we get to the elementary, just what these three gentlemen did their first year out getting a state championship like this. How big was that?
That's huge. Yeah, they did, and they worked so hard. They deserved it. They were, I mean, they put in extra time, and they were focused during practice. So yeah, they did. They were determined, and they met their goal. It was awesome.
And I think we talked about there was 14 kids, I think roughly 14 in the middle school, 14 in elementary.
Yep.
Senior high, I think, had 7.
Yep.
So total about 35 kids that were part of the robotics team. Elementary also came away with a state championship too.
Yeah.
In
And
their first year.
In their first year, right, exactly. And they actually, 2 of our elementary Valley City teams ended up in the number 1 and 2 spots, so they were teamed up together.
Okay.
So they won. Do you want some names of those?
Yeah, absolutely.
We got Beckett Ness, Liam Bruin, Devarsh, Sayuri Avanchi, and Isaac Gilbertson and Colton Byer. So
Okay.
they got the highest score. They were the number to beat, and they knew exactly what it was and exactly what they needed to do, and they got it, and they went and parked, and with a few seconds left to spare. So they did a really good job.
And a lot of other awards too, not just the state, but there were some other awards too that all of these teams, about three teams won, right?
Yes. So, I mean, winning the state championship, everybody wants to do that,
Yeah.
right? The judges actually, before you get to that point in the tournament, determine who they think is the very best robot and team at the state competition, and they are given the Excellence Award.
Okay.
And our team of Beckett, Liam, and Devarsh, they won the Excellence Award for elementary as well. And then in middle school, we've had Spencer Brown, Julia Stainbrook, August Hochhalter, and Cooper Anderson. They won the Excellence Award for our middle school group. So that comes down to having a really good interview. The judges interview you, and then also having a really good engineering design journal. So, and their journal was amazing. And then we also had Addie Tufte, Emily Hoff, and Ellie Quilvang, who also had an amazing journal and an amazing robot that they built themselves. That was, very complicated. And they won the design award, I think, 4 out of our 5 tournaments. And then at the state tournament, they got the Innovate Award.
Innovate.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they had a great robot as well.
Were you at all surprised at just how well they did in their first time out with this group?
Yeah, well, you could kind of tell from practice of day one that this group was going after it. I mean,
Right.
they were focused, they were on task, and it started with John and Channing together first, and then we put a different partner with them because somebody else had joined later, and then we kind of did a little juggling of personalities, and Jack is so easy to get along with. Jack's a great match to go in with Channing and John, so the 3 of them just meshed well and were on task. They got the job done.
And took it seriously. I mean, they were not there just to have fun and do this. They had an idea, they knew what they were going to do, and they knew what they had to do, and they did it.
Yep, and they did it. And then their goal was also to win skills, which is then you don't have a partner, you're all by yourself on the exact same field, and it's a little different situation with driving, and they're autonomous. And they threw hours at that, and they were number 1 for quite a while in the state, and then at the state tournament, the team that was their partners for winning the state championship,
Right.
that they actually beat them in skills. So for the first time, they beat them. So yeah.
Were they at all surprised how well they did or not? Or because you said they've been on task, were they themselves just,
They had made it to the championship round several times.
Right.
And then they had robot malfunction after robot malfunction. So they had, and then they were close a couple times. They got second place a few times. So I had my eye on them. I know I was not surprised. I don't know. I hope the boys weren't surprised. I hope they had confidence that they knew they could do it. So.
But the bar is set, though. I mean, robotics
Yeah.
has always here at Valley City been a state championship caliber group and activity.
Yeah, well, I mean, my very first year here 7 years ago, we came out of the gate with a state championship with Bob's Little Builders. That then for 4 years, that was an outstanding high school team. Which I know we talked a little bit about that last time. I just want to say that doing that at the high school level is significantly different than doing it at the junior high and elementary level. I mean, that is just a whole nother bar. So, I mean, they were impressive, and I mean, my goal is for these kids to come and get to that level, but they still have the bar set very high at the high school level. So,
And the high school had their state tournament this past weekend.
yes, speaking of, they did really quite well. They teamed up together. The one team was above the other, but you get to choose your teammate, and so they chose the other team, and so they went in it together. And they the first quarterfinals they beat their opponents, and then they went into semifinals, and then that's where they lost. But as far as like skills, though, they got 4th and 7th place in skills in the state, so that was a good showing there as well. So yeah, it's coming. They're only sophomores, so.
And with the competition is one thing, but winning skills or winning some of these other awards, the Judges Award or the Excellence, that's got some meaning too. Not just
Yes.
It's not just a state championship, but those have meanings as well. And one, I don't know if it's the Judges Award or the Excellence, is almost better.
Yeah, the Excellence Award is that's the award that gets you for sure an invitation to Worlds. Is
Okay.
getting the Excellence Awards. And depending on the number of teams that you have in your state is whether or not winning state gets you that invitation or not.
Right.
So, but the Excellence Award gets you the invitation.
That's what gets it
Yes.
there. And I think you and I have talked about this before. The 14 kids at junior high, or at the elementary, the first year that you have an elementary team, because Jessica Instead is kind of the one that got that going.
Right.
You only see it when you win a state championship. Now that's just going to really get some kids interested in this, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and it's immediately sets that bar for this is how we do it in Valley City.
Yeah.
So we bring home awards, we bring home banners, and hopefully that tradition can continue.
Okay, you're going to add some few more numbers up in the banner that's hanging in the
Yes.
hack. Anything else about this? This is always, this was a couple weeks ago. It was the last week in February, I think, is when the junior high and elementary, and last weekend for the state. But it's still kind of fresh in our minds that they did what they did.
Yes, for sure. One thing new for next year, they're looking at doing a super event at the Alaris Center in Grand Forks.
Okay.
It would be 200 or maybe more teams coming from all over the nation and to compete, and then the winner of that tournament automatically is qualified for Worlds. So it'll be signature event. That's what they call it. It'll be pretty spectacular. They're looking at November 1st, which means we don't usually start until the middle of October.
Yep.
So that means summer we're gonna have to get busy.
As soon as you find out in May,
So yep, we'll find out in May.
away you go. And they do keep that secret because
yeah.
we talked about it before. The cat doesn't get out of that bag until it absolutely has to.
Yep, exactly. And then everyone gets busy. So
Well, now, if people, again, wanted to see more of the high school level, of course, we had our Frozen Classic here in January, which was a phenomenal day as well here. We've got it on the Highlander Activity Network. They can watch it again. That's a little bit different, a little bit than what these gentlemen here
Right.
did. It's a different game between the junior high and elementary and the senior high. They all have a different game.
yes, different game, different size field. And then junior and elementary, it's plastic parts, and high school is metal. So speaking of next year, though, we also are planning on doing our high school meet on a Friday in January, and having a junior high and elementary meet then that following Saturday.
next day.
Yeah, so it's January 17, 18, something like that.
Okay.
So that's going to be a busy weekend. It'll be fun. People should come out.
Okay.
Come out and see.
Circle it in the calendar and,
Yep.
and put it down. Put it in your phone right now.
Yeah, exactly. We have great
perfect.
concessions too.
Well, yes, we do. We do on that, that's for sure. Well, Annette, again, congratulations on what's been a successful robotics year. And
Thank you.
looking forward to more. Again, Emmett Tufte helped you out.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
She kind of worked with the middle school and elementary, I believe.
So yeah, middle school. Yep, just mostly did all elementary because
elementary.
they did that at Washington. So,
Okay.
but they came up to our junior high and we helped them out there too. And some of our kids went down to the elementary and worked with them down there too. So
Perfect.
yeah,
All right. Well, the bar is up. Now they got to
Yep.
just keep going at it.
exactly,
All right.
exactly. Thanks, Paul.
You bet. Thank you. Annette Beatty joining us from Valley City Robotics. We'll be back and have more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. And back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and we are about 3 days removed from the Division A Girls State Basketball Tournament that was held in Minot, and the Highlanders again making their first trip to the state tournament in 10 years. Coach Jimmy Howard joining us here from the Highlanders, and have the girls kind of come down a little bit now, and now they're getting ready for their spring sports?
I think so. We just kind of had exit meetings today, and you know, some of them have already started track, so their spring sports already, we got back and they started on Monday, so some of them made that transition really quick, but I think a lot of them really enjoyed the trip, the experience. It was fantastic. The atmosphere was great, and so, you know, if they're on a high for a week, that's fine.
That's good for you. Like you said, it's been a long 2 weeks, but a fun. The last couple of weeks, and you look back, Jimmy, just even go back to that state qualifying game and that victory against Carrington, and the way that they played, beating a team that had beaten you by 12 earlier this year. That seemed to really just be the jump start, wasn't it?
You know, offensively, yes. Our region game against Northern Cass, I thought we played fantastic defense. We held a player averaging almost, what was it, 30-something a game. We held her to under 20 or just right at 20. And I thought our defense was really, really good there. Offense, we struggled a little bit. Go to the Carrington game, I thought our defense, you know, we held them to 18 field goals, tried to run them off the three-point line as much as possible, held them to a low percentage, and then that just continued right into the state tournament. I think we played probably our best 4 games, complete 4 games. Mayville through the state tournament. I thought we played pretty well at the Shack as well. So we put a lot of really good games together here late in the season, and it worked out well for us.
Well, and you look at the victory over Bottineau. Would you say, at least in your time here, that's the biggest victory for this program? Or is that a tough one to answer?
I mean, it's probably the most recognizable. It was on TV. Lots of people tuned in. The schools were tuned in. I think the magnitude of the game was the highest ranked team we've beat. So, yeah, it goes up there as probably one of the biggest wins we've had since I've been here. And, you know, the girls just fought and fought. You know, the announcers kept making the comment that we didn't make a 3 in that game, and I thought, though, that was really telling of we weren't trying to do things we don't do. Like, we played to our strengths that game. We really played to our strengths that whole weekend, but we really played to our strengths. We pounded the glass and got some easy runouts, and, you know, after that game, I got a lot of texts from numbers I've never seen. I got a lot of texts, actually, the whole weekend from numbers I've never seen. And so knowing what that's kind of done for the community and our program has, you know, just made that win that much bigger. That was the goal. Get to state, try to get a win the first day that gets you in the top 4. Somewhere we haven't been in 40 years is that winner's side of the bracket. So that's probably the biggest win since I've been here, and it did a lot for our program.
You and I have talked about this all year long, I think from day one, about the type of team you have. You had the type of team that really fit the Jimmy Howard mold. Is that too why this team was as successful as it was?
I think a little bit. I think the buy-in, a complete buy-in from everybody on it's not about myself, it's not about my stats, and just doing you know, Greta Govan goes unrecognized for most of the season, but she did a lot of things. I thought she played some of her best basketball at the end of the season. Drew struggled scoring in that first game, but her help defense was phenomenal, and her rebounding and things like that. And so I think just the buy-in of, okay, I'm not getting it. This isn't working for me tonight, but I'm going to do it somewhere else. That really bought in. I mean, the last piece of playing is having some perimeter shooting, which we did throughout the season, but not that first game there. But I think just that buy-in of everyone doing it, whoever's night it is, that's fine. As long as we can, we'll help in any way we can to try to get a win. And I think that really is what pushed us through this season.
We talked about it last week, not last week, but the bench and how pivotal they're going to be, especially your style. You like to press, you like to move, and the bench really helped out and gave you some quality minutes. May not on something on the stat sheet, but they gave you the quality minutes.
Yeah, Kaylee Nielsen had a really good season for us. Her stats weren't anything crazy, but then she had a huge game in our play-in game up at Mayville State, and really kind of jumped us at a time when maybe some baskets weren't falling. I thought she played well at the state. I thought Maddie Anderson had some really big minutes for us, and bench players throughout the season. We go play Watford City. Katie Coca comes in for a quarter and kind of shuts down their big score and helps us win that game. And so, like I said, the kids just buying into, this is my role, or I'll give you everything I got for whatever minutes those are. Starting bench, it didn't matter. It was nice to see. It was fun to coach, and that's really what pushed us here at the end, is everyone just being on the same page.
And that girl you're talking about, Morgan from Watford City, was Senior Athlete of the Year in Class A, and she had 28 points through 3 quarters and got 0 in the 4th quarter when Katie was on her in that game up at Devil's Lake. 19-9 is the record, and just the foundation that this team has set. And you had your 3 seniors, and just what these young ladies have done to really set that bar and say, here's what we can do.
I would like to say that bar was set a few years ago. Maybe wins and losses, you don't see it, but the accountability side of it, I think. The 3 seniors this year, they really laid the groundwork. We're going to miss them. Their work ethic at practice, they pushed each other. Their willingness to do whatever it took. Like I said, we put one change from starting to coming off the bench. Another one, what they weren't scoring, they were doing other things, and their unselfishness throughout the season, I think, really lays the groundwork for our younger kids coming through to see how what benefits us the most and how we can be the most successful.
As you talk about the younger kids, now they've had a taste of that. They know what it's going to. The experience is. They say experience is the best teacher. This experience has got to definitely be a big thing for the freshmen and sophomores that played.
I would hope so. It was by far some of the funnest games to coach. The atmosphere, the support from our community and our fans was awesome. And just having that experience there, the loudness of everything, the competitive of the game. We didn't go up there and get blown out. Every game was really competitive. And I think that hopefully that sparks, like, we want to go back and we want to do this again.
And again.
And again, yes.
And again. Let's be greedy. I mean, we can be greedy about this. Again, you talk about the support from the community. I think the girls felt it. They saw it in the stands with all the white shirts and so forth, and they had to feed off that.
Oh, absolutely. Being able to get the fan buses up here. Thursday, we saw videos of the kids watching the games at the schools. It was kind of unbelievable, really, to look back and see all the people that were there, and it was great. I hope that we've made some fans that maybe they haven't come to watch basketball games in a few years, or maybe it wasn't something they really wanted to watch. Hey, let's go watch. There's a basketball game in town. Like, let's go watch it, and hopefully that support continues to grow, and we can continue to build a really solid basketball program here that people want to come and support.
Well, again, congratulations on a fabulous year. Of course, 2 players made all-tournament team, Katie Birchall and Tessa Olson making the all-tournament team. All-state team will be announced here coming up after the AA basketball tournament later on next week. All-region coach of the year as well for you. And I think you're the first to say the 15 young ladies that suited up are the reason why you got that.
Oh, I mean, you don't get it for going 5 and 20 or whatever. Like,
right.
The girls, the product on the court and their work ethic, it was unexpected, I should say that, and it meant a lot, really coming from coaches you haven't seen. Like, it was their first year competing in that, to kind of have the respect of our program. I kind of think like the coach's award is more for respect towards your program and what you've done with the kids, but you got to have the kids execute your plan in order for that to work. Right. So really, I told them, I think when we got on the bus, I said, you know, thank you guys for everything you do, because without that, I don't get this award. And it meant a lot just grinding for 10 years in the EDC to finally get that kind of recognition for our program. Because we've had some really good teams come through here that 3-class system, who knows, but maybe weren't as appreciated being in the EDC. So that was huge. And also to have Region 1 Player of the Year, that was really awesome to see as well. So a lot of good things for our program and good publicity this year for our program, and hopefully we can continue that in the coming years.
Knock on wood, as we do it. Again, congratulations, Ojima, on a fantastic season. Look forward to already getting eager to see next November and get things started already.
Yeah, I think the girls could take a break, but yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, and you know, maybe there's some more interest and so we get some more kids out. Who knows? But I know the girls are really excited, and those 8th graders that are going to be freshmen, you know, they now want to experience the same thing. So I think getting there helps with the work at practice and stuff. So
success breeds success.
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks again, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and go Highlanders.
Coach Jimmy Howard from the Highlander girls basketball team. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here at Coach's Corner in the Highlander Activity Network, and not the boys basketball team. They're in their postseason, and they'll be playing in Fargo here on Thursday night in the 3rd place game of Region 1. Coach Jim McDaniel joining us. Coach, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Is it nice to be still practicing here in March?
Yeah, it's fun to still be playing ball.
And meaningful.
Yes, yeah, everything counts right now, yes.
I know back in the EDC days, they still had regular season games in March. But let's look at Region 1, the split the first 2 games. Boy, a different 2 games. Everything was falling in one game and not quite in the second game.
Yeah, we struggled last night a little bit. Not what we're used to. Yeah, and you know, we were in the game the entire time, and it's just... yeah, we just never got in the flow, and yeah, I'm hoping the guys kind of, you know, take what we can from that to not let it happen again, and we move on, because we're still playing, so we can't dwell on that for too long. So.
And you talk about how basketball can be one of those weird sports. The last time that Wahpeton and Valley City played here, 75 points and 64 points were scored.
Yeah.
Last night it was 91 combined.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to get baskets last night. Talking at practice tonight, I think we talked. We let some baskets get away from us, and so hopefully tomorrow, you know, we're back to our shooting ways. So. And
you're playing teams you've seen before, so there's no secrets. Obviously, the first game of the year against a pesky Lisbon team, you know, I had Cordero, I think, had about 45 threes, it seemed like. Every time he put the ball up, it went in.
Yeah, and that game, you know, when we played Lisbon the first time here, we weren't happy with ourselves after that one. You know, we led a lot of that game, and then we let it get away kind of at the end. And when we went down to Lisbon, we were kind of in control the entire time, and we struggled a little bit in the shack for the first time, but 70-60 win, you know, I'll take that. So I thought we shot the ball pretty well. The first quarter, both teams were lights out, you know, so yeah, fun game.
defense, they say, wins championships. So, I mean, your defense seemed last night came up with stops when they needed to. It's just on the other end, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, and there were things. We watched some video today, hoping to clean up some things on the defensive end. Yeah, we did what we needed to do. When Wahpeton was here, they shut the lights out. You know, they were making everything. And last night, defensively, yeah, we did some things to keep them from shooting like they did. But there were some things that we didn't like about ourselves on the defensive end too. So hopefully our practice tonight, we had a good practice tonight. We'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Central Cass here, is who you play in Fargo here for the third place game. Still a lot on the line. I mean, this is one thing we've talked about before with this new 3-class system. Third place games now have meaning.
Yes. And, last night, you walk off the court, it's a game that we think we can win, and we were in the game, the whole night where we're fighting to the end to win. So as you walk off, you're kind of disappointed that way. But yet, our goal was to let's get to a game where we're playing for a state tournament berth, and that's still out there. And it kind of sets up, now after you have your talk, and here we are in practice today, and our path always was like, you're going to have Kindred, you're going to have Devils Lake, Grafton, 4 wins. Those 4 teams have been the top of the state all year long. Yeah. So we knew with having to cross with Region 2, we're going to have to cross paths with one of them. Well, our last night puts us, now we play Central Cass, which, okay. And then Thompson upsetting Grafton. Right now I got my money on Devils Lake. So I'm thinking that Thompson would be the team, we win tomorrow, then we have Thompson. So all of a sudden now we're talking a state tournament berth without having to play any of those 4 teams. Right. So maybe a blessing in disguise. I don't know. So we got to do our job tomorrow though. So maybe we get that chance. Have you
looked at the film for the first 2 games with Central Cass? Now, granted, you and I were just talking. That first game was the very first game of the year.
Yes.
You're an entirely different team than you were.
Yeah, I have not watched any of that film, but we've been watching. It's a quick turnaround. And then during the day they make me teach some math. So I can't spend. We got back last night late. I watched a little bit last night, and when I could today, I watched some film. So I was watching. I watched some of our film from last night of us playing just to pick up a few things, and then I've been watching film of Central Cass with other teams, but also the second time we played them down there when we played pretty well, and we got a win on that game. So that's the one I've been kind of looking, seeing who we matched up with, all that kind of stuff. So.
Is Holzer kind of the key to this team, or is there not a key guy?
I think he's the key. I think he's the guy you got to focus on first. And they got guys that can shoot and things like that. And hopefully, I think when we played them in Castleton, we got them out of their rhythm a little bit. Holzer didn't shoot very well from the free throw line. I mean, there were some things that once we kind of got them out of their game, then they kind of struggled for a little bit, and we shut them down. And some quarters they didn't score a whole lot of points. So game plan would be much the same, but of course they're changing their game plan, and it's that chess match going on. So and again, today we were talking. We got to worry more about ourselves, and we left some shots on the court last night. We can't have that tomorrow. We got to buckle down, and so that's what we're concentrating on, probably a little more than what Castleton's going to do.
Score more points than them. There's your key.
That's right. That's
your key.
Yep.
When the final horn sounds, have more points on your side.
Yeah. And if it could be a complete copy of when we played them in Castleton, I'll take that.
Right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Put that in your back pocket and walk away with it. But again, that is the first game tomorrow, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
At the Shack. And head on out to Fargo. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's been nice weather. We haven't worried about. Oh, no, I'm not going to say it. Not going to say anything about what happens this time of year normally. But 6 o'clock, Valley City and Central Cass at the Shack. And Jim, get one more, and then you play again. That playing game on Saturday would be at the Shack again. How key is that if you get that second chance of playing that?
We talked about that today too. It's kind of become our new home court. So having 3 games, and if it is Thompson that comes in, you know, it's a different place to play. You know, the lights are bright in there. I mean, it's an awesome place to be. It's a great place to watch. You know, when, you know, the fans go and watch a game there, it's a great facility. It's pretty fun sitting on the sideline there, or for the guys getting out on that court.
Right.
It's when we walked in that first night, it was you know, it was pretty fun. So
It's something they'll remember for a while.
yeah. So
Let's add some more memories.
let's win tomorrow so we get another game there on Saturday, and yeah, it could be a fun finish.
Perfect. Jim, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. Coach Jim McDaniel joining us from the Highlander boys. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, our second to last segment here tonight. And now we're going to talk to a couple of young ladies that have been here before, but one for tennis and one for dance. Now they're here for DECA, and that is a student organization for entrepreneurs, I think, isn't it? Budding entrepreneurs and business people. And we are joined here by Abby Marnick and Liv Dietrich. Ladies, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Ready to go. Now you're just coming off state this past weekend. And they worked together. Let's talk about your project. What was your project? Who wants to take that?
So we did a business operations research project for a service business. So the business we chose was Dietrich's Busing. So we performed research on the topic was how to attain and retain more employees.
Okay. So like a marketing strategy or an in-house plan? So not so much getting it to the public, more how you keep employees, and right? Is that what you're?
Yes, yeah,
okay.
How to keep them and how to advertise to different target markets. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of things did you have to do to put this together, Abby?
Well, we did a lot of research. Like we had an interview with staff at Dietrich's. We also did a survey with Valley City State University students, and then a focus group with the students in Mrs. Shaneko's dual credit classroom, so that we could get lots of intel. And we asked a bunch of questions and learn about the business and what the target market wants.
What when you won state? That's what we're here talking about. They were was it in duo? Was it what category was it that you won?
So we won business operations research project for a service business.
Okay.
So we wrote a paper together throughout the last month and then submitted that, and then we also did a 15-minute presentation live for judges.
So are there certain criteria that the judges judge you on? What were those criteria that they kind of judge
the
you on?
paper is made up of a bunch of performance indicators, so you have to hit those in the paper, and then we made a PowerPoint based off of those performance indicators, and that's what you present to the judges. So the presentation is basically restating your paper in a more like conversational way, but it's hitting those performance indicators that are with that specific project.
Okay. Was this one you came up with, let's see how I want to word this, did you know you want to work together, or were you put together by Sheila, or was it something you just kind of worked on together? How did you come up with this combination?
So we worked in a trio last year, and we won state last year. So we worked pretty well together, and then now we're in a different hour than the other person. So we were just used to working together already, so it was kind of a given that we would.
Made it easier.
Yeah.
Made the transition easier, being that, because now Nationals is next up, and where is Nationals? I kind of know, but where is Nationals this year?
It's in Anaheim, California.
Ooh, Disneyland. No, Disney World, I think, is in Anaheim. No, Disneyland's out in Anaheim, but that's another story altogether. But when is that going to be, guys? When is the Nationals?
Pretty sure it's April 26th through May 1st.
So it's the end of April and into May. And what kinds of things are you looking forward to getting to the Nationals? I mean, it's kind of, you've been there before, right? Because you went last year as state. So is that going to help you, what you went through last year for this year?
Yeah, so we got to go last year, but that was in Orlando. So it's going to be a new atmosphere, but still a lot of the same people that we'll see. And now we know what to kind of look at with the competition and stuff. We know what to practice. So I think we'll be a lot more prepared this year.
Are you going to change anything? Do you change anything or not?
Last year we didn't. Last year we just kept practicing what we did at state since we knew it worked, and we got top 30% last year in the nation.
Okay.
So hopefully we get some that or better.
Get a little higher, little higher than that. So just fine tune what you have already put together and what you have. Do they judge differently at Nationals or no?
They shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I like that. They shouldn't, but sometimes they do. Maybe the judges think differently or have something different in their minds. Both seniors, so this is your swan song. How long have we been in DECA?
This is my second year.
And for you, same? So have you enjoyed it? Is it something you've, budding entrepreneurs, I mean, that's kind of what it's for. Is that something you're thinking about, business in the future?
Yeah, I'm majoring in finance at UND, so it definitely helped me know that I like business.
Right.
But I would tell any student to do it because it just helps you talk to people.
Learn like some life skills, and I mean both of you as athletes too, and you learn the life skills with what you do with dance and with tennis, and now you learn it with this. But that whole verbal communication, how key was that, Abby, for you? Was it something you kind of had to be pulled out of you, or was it easy for you to do?
I don't think it's too difficult for me. I definitely work better with her and together. I've done role plays by myself, and for DECA, and I don't do as well in those. But I feel really comfortable doing it with her, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same for you, Liv?
Yeah.
You can do it by yourself, but having ideas and working with somebody probably makes it a little bit easier to do and more fun.
Yeah.
Because you can share it with somebody when you get there. Final question. You said 30% last year, so that's the goal to beat that this year?
Yeah.
What do you think you're going to have to do to get into that upper 25%? Is there anything you got to do a little bit better? Because you based on what you did last year, or not?
We probably should practice more in between state and national, so we didn't really practice in between the two.
And then here I am keeping them on a night that they should be practiced. No, I'm kidding. But excited though? Are you,
Yes.
For this opportunity?
Yeah.
And going back, just the two of you this year
Yeah.
are going? Because I think a couple more went last year to the Nationals, but representing Valley City and the Valley City DECA. And folks, you're still looking for donations. Help them out. Help these girls out. It's not cheap going to these things. And so we appreciate, congratulations on the state champ and getting first. And now you're going off to Nationals. Bring some of that nice California weather back when you come back in May. And hopefully we'll be enjoying ourselves. But ladies, again, congratulations on what you've done so far. And I guess, too, last question. This is the last question. Senior years, it's just kind of nice way to wrap up your senior year, at least for DECA, Abby.
Yeah, for sure. I would have been really disappointed if we weren't able to go back, so I'm excited for it.
How about you, Liv?
Yeah, I think it'll be a nice wrap up, and then we just come back and it's prom, so.
Then you go right into prom.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, again, congratulations, ladies, and thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Abby Martin, Nick Liv Dietrich joining us again. State champs and on the way to nationals at DECA, again coming up the end of April and first week in May. And that is going to be in Anaheim, California. We'll come back and wrap things up. Coach's Corner here from the Hack and the Highlander Activity Network. And back here in Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network as we wrap up our first show in a month. We've been off for a while because lots of things have been happening here at Valley City, and we are glad to be back here on Coach's Corner. Well, upcoming events, first off, things you can see here on the Highlander Activity Network. The Washington Music, 5th grade music program coming up tomorrow, Thursday, and that will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then next Monday, the 11th, we have the senior high band concert that'll be going on here at the Hack. Those are the next two events here on the Highlander Activity Network. And junior high was on Monday night. And again, last night we had girls' night out with the Express girls only wrestling competition. It wasn't really a tournament, but a jamboree, if you will. And you can watch both the junior high band concert from Monday night and last night's girls' night out Express Wrestling. You can watch those on the Highlander Activity Network. Just go to YouTube and you can search Highlander Activities, Valley City Activities, and we have all of our past events there, and you can watch them again if you didn't get a chance to see them last night or on Monday night. But again, 5th grade Washington music program tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then the band concert 7 o'clock here at the Hack the senior high band concert on Monday. Also going on right now, but not on the Highland Activity Network, but go and enjoy the junior high play. And that is going on right now. Madhouse is the name of the junior high play, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights at 7 o'clock at the junior and senior high theater. It is an interesting play, and you might want to see this. As it almost sounds like Knives, the movie that will talk about reading wills and families squabbling. It's very good, and that's going to be at the junior and senior high theater. It's called Madhouse, 7 o'clock, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the junior high play. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network. Again, I want to thank all of our guests that joined us here tonight. The three gentlemen from the robotics team, Jack, John, and Channing, and of course Annette Beatty, the advisor for Valley City Robotics, basketball coaches Jimmy Howard and Jim McDaniel, and the ladies that just were joining us here, Abby Martinick and Liv Dietrich from DECA, and they're on the way to nationals here coming up at the end of April. And also, of course, Jaden Johnson, our camera operator, technical director, and all-around nice guy back here with us as well. But we thank, too, Jaden for everything that he does here on the Highlander Activity Network. We'll be back again next Wednesday. Boy, there's not a lot of shows left as we go through the school year. Probably can count how many shows left on one or two hands as we get down there. We're in March already, and we will be back again next week with another edition of Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network.